In my youth, I was told that in a certain city, everyone lived according to the scriptures. And I said, I will seek that city and the blessedness thereof. Hi, this is Nidish Vasu, and I read writings and poetry from the great saints and sages from across time to help us introspect where we are at in our lives at the moment and to help us evolve and become better students, better children, better parents, better friends, better lovers, and better humans.
Welcome to a Stereo Tales presentation. You're listening to Sages and the Madman with Nidish Vasu.
Thank you for listening into my podcast. This week, we continue reading from Khalil Gibran's work. And in each episode, we'll also try to gather insights into the experiences and struggles of Gibran's life that shaped his personality and inspired his work. Today, we'll talk about his mother. Camilla Gibran was certainly a big influence in Khalil Gibran's life. From everything I've read about her, she sounds like a strong and resolute and determined woman. Gibran was born to Camilla from her third husband. When this marriage also failed due to his father's habits, she had to decide between a life of neglect and struggle for herself and the kids or to take things into her own hands. She followed through on her plan to undertake the arduous journey to the United States with her children. She had no formal education, and with 4 children to look after, she started with selling laces and linen door to door to sustain themselves. With these meager earnings, she gave Khalil Gibran the opportunity to attend his first formal school, where he was for the first time noticed for his artistic inclinations. Today, we'll take a look at a fable from Khalil Gibran's The Madman called The Blessed City. In my youth, I was told that in a certain city, everyone lived according to the scriptures. And I said, I will seek that city and the blessedness thereof. And it was far, and I made great provision for my journey. And after 40 days I beheld the city, and on the 41st day I entered into it. And lo, the whole company of the inhabitants had each but a single eye and but one hand. And I was astonished and said to myself, shall they of this so holy city have but one eye and one hand? Then I saw that they too were astonished, for they were marveling greatly at my 2 hands and my 2 eyes. And as they were speaking together, I inquired of them, saying, is this indeed the blessed city, where each man lives according to the scriptures? And they said, yes, this is that city. And what, said I, hath befallen you? Where are your right eyes and your right hands? And all the people were moved, and they said, come thou and see. And they took me to the temple in the midst of the city. And in the temple I saw a heap of hands and eyes, all withered. Then said I, alas, what conqueror hath committed this cruelty upon you? And there went a murmur amongst them. And one of the elders stood forth and said, this doing is of ourselves. God hath made us conquerors over the evil that was in us. And he led me to a high altar, and all the people followed. And he showed me above the altar an inscription graven, and I read, if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Then I understood. And I turned about to all the people and cried, hath no man or woman among you 2 eyes or 2 hands? And they answered me, saying, no, not one. There is none whole save such as are yet too young to read the scripture and to understand its commandment. And when we had come out of the temple, I straightway left that blessed city, for I was not too young and I could read the scripture. What a wonderful parable that applies to even this time of the world. Gibran tells us of a tale of a city he's heard of where people followed the scriptures. He heads off to this land and discovers that everyone there has no right eye or right hand. He is shown the scripture which says that if your right eye or hand offends you, cast it off, and that it's better than casting away your whole being into hell. The people of the city followed these instructions as interpreted by their elders, literally. They cut away their right hands and eyes. Here, the right members of the body can mean to signify the righteous aspects of ourselves. They discarded these righteous faculties just so that they can be citizens of this blessed city. The sense of community that they all enjoyed from following these set of rules made them feel alike and gave them a sense of blessedness and protection, even though this was a false one. None of them questioned the meaning of these scriptures and followed them generation after generation. Every generation was subject to these rules as they came of age and ability, quite like many practices that communities around the world follow even today. In truth, these lines of the scripture mean that one should introspect and withdraw the energy that flows to the mind's eye if it thinks an offending thought, or from the hands if it intends to commit an offending action. Essentially, withdraw all energy, all attention inward and away from the sense organs to soul guided wisdom. The true blessed city is within us. The madman sees that this is no place for him to be in and leaves. Utter disillusionment. He realizes his own path to the blessed city, instead of following shallow customs in the name of God. I'm sure there are more layers to peel with this story to reveal further truths. I'd love to hear from you about your takeaways from this story. Please leave me a message on our Facebook, Instagram, or other social media pages. Also, please don't forget to spend some time in introspection this week to find your place in this world. It is a time of great transformation. Be kind to yourself.
If you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, please hit subscribe and make sure you share the link with others who'd enjoy the experience. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach us at themadman@stereotales.com with your thoughts, suggestions, questions, ideas, and more. Please also write in if you'd like to partner with us or if you'd like to feature us on your blog or newsletter. Don't forget to rate our podcast. Thank you for listening and for all your support. You've been listening to a Stereo Tales presentation.